That's the point that I've been trying to get across in these debates. Why sit there and talk about each other and tear each other down when we have such important issues to deal with? It feels like you're talking to a brick wall.
Republicans will be meeting tonight for a debate on Fox News, but Dr. Ben Carson will not be there. He's announced that he will not be attending the debate, stating that he doesn't see a path forward to winning the Republican nomination. So far, he's only amassed 8 delegates through the various states thus far, and so he has an uncertain future. Joining us right now to talk about this is Armstrong Williams, who is the business manager for Dr. Carson, and an advisor as well. Armstrong, good to have you back. So the question is this here, and this is what Dr. Carson released yesterday. Please pull the graphic up. I have decided not to attend the Fox News GOP presidential debate tomorrow night in Detroit, which is his hometown. I do not see a political path forward in light of last evening's Super Tuesday primary results. However, this grassroots movement on behalf of We the People will continue. I appreciate the support, financial and otherwise, from all corners of America. Gratefully, my campaign decisions are not constrained by finances, rather by what is in the best interest of the American people. Real simple. Is Dr. Carson dropping out of this presidential campaign?
Well, obviously, if he's not attending tonight's debate in his hometown of Detroit, it's obvious that he's decided to make different decisions to move forward, and that not only there's no pathway for victory, there's no pathway for remaining in the race.
Will he endorse any of the current candidates?
No.
At all?
No.
There was a point when he was leading. He was tied with Donald Trump in Iowa. What changed? What changed? Because he had significant support among evangelicals. Folks liked his demeanor. But all of a sudden, things changed in this race. You know,
one of the things that people don't say enough about Mr. Trump is that Mr. Trump is sort of ghetto. It's like a gangster. You know, he speaks the language, can be disrespectful, he can be rude, he can use profane language, all the things that we condemn in that type of music. And yet, there seems to be no ceiling that he cannot get away with. Dr. Carson is a gentleman. He's decent, he's respectful, he's not going to ever be combative. And so when San Bernardino, California, and Paris, when those attacks took place, the American people were looking for a war president. Nothing changed about Dr. Carson. His likability, his favorability, his honesty, his credibility. What changed was that people made a different decision of what they wanted in leadership. And if you're not bombastic, if you're not rude, and if you're not saying everything that people wanted to hear, whether you could deliver on those promises or not, you really didn't have much of a chance to continue at the tier level where Dr. Carson was. And so he can never become that during the debate and on the road of the campaign. He just never could.
Being soft-spoken, being someone who was thoughtful, you think on the stage with the Trump, with the Christie, it was just so much, I would say, testosterone, ego, bombastic nature that it drowned everyone else out.
Well, it's even deeper than that, Roland. The media, their debates were set in motion and organized to cater to the entertainment value. The debates were not set in motion to cater to intellect, to cater to real dialogue. It was catered to benefit someone like a Donald Trump. It was about ratings. It was about money. It was about entertainment. And so Dr. Carson, the debate format never worked for him. As much as he said, I'm going to be more aggressive in the next debate, and also remember, also in the debates, as much throughout of his campaign, even when he was leading Trump for a while, he was often ignored by the press, rarely mentioned, rarely given the acknowledgement, because many felt he never belonged on that stage.
He was, first of all, he was criticized for many of his answers, for not having strong or in-depth policy proposals. Also, you were criticized. There's this huge rift within the campaign. Several campaign folks left saying you were at fault as well. And so how much blame also goes to the internal drama in the campaign?
Listen, that's part of the process. You're going to always have conflict. You're going to always have tension will flare. You're not going to always be on the same page, especially when you're dealing with someone like myself who is an outsider, had no official role with the campaign, and campaign strategist who really wants to determine Dr. Carson's message. They want to control the finances. They want to control everything. And Dr. Carson is not the kind of personality where you can control him. And so he had me in place to sort of balance it out. And obviously there was a come to Jesus moment during the end of 2015 where a decision was made that his apparatus had to change and they were let go and we remained in place. And so the apparatus works now. But you know, not much has changed since the terrorist attacks in Paris and San Bernardino, California.
What was it like when he came to that conclusion that this race is over?
You know,
was it, were you with him in person? Did you talk on the phone? What was that moment after Super Tuesday?
Surprisingly, it was very emotional for them.
You say them, Dr. Carson and his wife?
No, his team.
Okay.
Everybody was very emotional because he's such a good man. And, you know, I said a couple of weeks ago, which I don't think it went over well with him or the team, that, you know, look, we didn't do well in Iowa, didn't show up in New Hampshire, and placed last in South Carolina. I don't think the narrative is going to change. I don't think that what you're hoping to have take place in Super Tuesday is going to come about. And yet they were convinced. They were convinced that Super Tuesday would be that miracle that he was looking for that would show him the way. And so, you know, I said to Dr. Carson, I said, look, you're going to have to make some tough decisions because I think March 2nd is going to be D-Day for you. You're going to probably decide that it's time to move on. And they did not necessarily want that narrative out there. So, you know, I stood back and then Super Tuesday came about, and we spoke extensively, and, you know, he admitted, he said, you know, the one thing that doesn't work well in a campaign is being honest and being very candid. And, you know, he said, look, we've got to make some tough decisions today, and I did not attend the meeting, and they made the decisions, and when he made the decision that he would not attend the presidential debate in his hometown, which is something he had been looking forward to for a long time, he said the time has come. And so, you know what, again, he could have gone tonight, taking up space, knowing that he was going to not be in the race for long. Again, he showed his honor, he showed his character, and in the end, he will always have that, and he will always be respected. And what he brought to American politics, that you can be honest, you can be decent, you may not win, it may not be the formula, but he never compromised his principles for the sake of winning public office. So, Dr. Ben Carson, out of the GOP presidential race, what will he do next? There's plenty to do. You know, there's still the role of advocacy. There's still candidates that are courting him. He still has a role to play with the policies that he cares about, whether it has to do with the grid, whether it has to do with what's going on in inner city, with in terms of helping blacks get into this empowerment game and lessening the poverty and the strife in his communities. And so, you know, Dr. Carson has a lot of influence with members of the GOP, with the candidates that are running today, because you can tell they all respect him and they show great honor to him. So he will be a voice. He will be someone that would influence this party, which and it does need his perspective going forward. Armstrong Williams, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Roland.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. News One Now with Roland Martin, every weekday morning at 7 on TV One.